This is to introduce the Egypt prophetic effect. Right now, as we speak, in the past 48 hours, 30 million locusts descended upon Egypt. It's a locust invasion right now in Egypt. 30 million locusts, stretching from the Suez Canal to Cairo, which is 200 kilometers, 124 miles of locusts. 1 ton of locusts can eat food that is equivalent to 2,500 people. And the farmers in Egypt are very worried that these locusts can destroy major crops for square miles. Even the military in Egypt have sent out military planes to spray pesticide in order to curtail or to destroy these plagues of locusts. What this brings us to is, what is to be understood from this is the biblical, it brings us back into memory to the biblical account of those plagues that took place during the time of Moses in Egypt, with that Pharaoh that was in charge and that was persecuting God's people, which were the Jews. And in response to their persecution, God sent plagues of locusts upon Egypt that ate up all the crops in Egypt. It was major. We got to understand that in order to understand prophetically what's happening and what is to come, we have to understand what's happening in Egypt. Egypt, it being the first empire, not only the first empire, but prophetically the king of the south, is a microcosm of what's coming upon the world. We see in the post-Mubarak period that after the army rose to power, the Coptic Christians churches were being burned, and they marched in a peaceful demonstration against the burning of churches in Egypt. How did the government responded? They sent the tankers, and they drove the tankers upon the Coptic Christians, killing them, causing their brains to be splashed out. Even the international community did nothing about it. Egypt is a microcosm of what's coming upon the world in the form of Christian persecution. But we see, not only after that, we see the rise, according to Isaiah 19, 1-4, that there will be a rise of a cruel king, and a fierce Lord will rise and be ruler over Egypt. We see that fulfilling in the person of Muhammad Mercy. And when he took power, he established president that nothing that he says can be reversed. He abolished the judicial system. He canceled parliament. He dissolved the constitution. He set up the constitution based on Sharia law. He invalidated the political influence of the army, and he decreed himself as head above all, just like what the Antichrist will do. And he did this right after he made a peace treaty between Israel and Gaza. And as soon as the international community began to praise him for his peace role in creating peace between Israel and Gaza, he declared himself a self-dictator and a new pharaoh over Egypt. Up to this day, even though they challenge it, just a few hours ago, the United States new secretary, state secretary, just gave them 450 million in approval of their government. So we see that Egypt is a type of microcosm of the Antichrist type of government, that dictatorship, that world king decree himself world king over the world. And we see, even as they persecute the Christians, that God sent plagues, just like how he did during the time of Israel while they were in Egypt. This is a result of these plagues. We got to pay attention to what's happening in Egypt as it pertains to this, the governance, the microcosm of the Antichrist government, the persecution of Christians. And now we see the plague, the invasion of plague, biblical plague invasion upon Egypt happening right now. Stay abreast to these prophetic happenings as God continued to speak.